Welcome to Winfield's week of Rugby League, a week in fact where history was made for the game. We'll be bringing you all the highlights from the last State of Origin clash between New South Wales and Queensland, this time from Los Angeles, California. Also, the Saturday match of the day between Penrith and St George, the big one on Sunday, South Sydney versus Cronulla Sutherland, all the highlights from the other games played last Sunday, as well as the Monday night clash at Belmore Sports Ground between Eastern Suburbs and Canterbury Bankstown. But back to last Friday, in fact Sydney time, when New South Wales lined up against Queensland in the last State of Origin. There were 12,000 fans at the Redfern Stadium in Long Beach, California to take their first look at the game of Rugby League.
There's the big kangaroo, and boy, didn't that get a reception when that came onto the ground. Peter Sterling, the man that plays 100% every time he runs out onto the pitch, and he'll have a big game tonight. Be assured of that. Okay, everything now in readiness. The Americans standing by as Borton drives the ball up for Queensland. Taken by Peter Sterling, comes back 12 metres over and runs into the red jumpers, and this defence is on already. We'll talk about the boundaries a little later on. Oh, and a big hit on Tunks, but he unloads and he gets a little handball away. He stood up there, though, and there's a little bit on. It's on now in Southern California. Good old Aussie Biffo. And the Americans love it. Well, what do we say about this defence? It's revved up. Both sides want to win this one. We'll see which way it goes. And it goes to Queensland. They get the first points. Let's have a look at the replay. Peter Tunks came in here. Now there's the defence came in. Bobby Linders held him up. Got a little handoff. He got a ball away to Simmons. Simmons was wrapped up with Canescu, and that was the one that did the damage. He didn't like Borton coming in that way. Dale Shearer now. Right in front. 4 or 5 paces back. There it is. This will be the first points ever scored. Yes, he's got it. So Queensland hit the front 2-0. That's the first time points have been scored in America by a rugby league player. Historic moment there.
Now New South Wales ball again to Lyons. He's showing it to Docking. A long pass is picked up nicely there by Eddinghausen. But he's caught just inside the Queensland quarter. New South Wales right on the attack. Lyons has it. Run around move as McGaw ducks under a high tackle. Caught now 20 metres out. It's across to Sterling, to Davidson. Davidson had a runner in Lyons but couldn't offload. Simmons dummy half. Switch of play to Sterling. Then to Langmack, another cutout pass for McGaw, back to O'Connor. Kenyon hands for Eddinghausen. Close to the line, he's there. Great try from New South Wales. Andrew Eddinghausen it was, in the corner, in the shadows. But New South Wales threatening to do something like that for the last 3 or 4 minutes, throwing the ball about boldly. Clever switch of play. Sterling called it on the blind side. Langmack was involved. So was McCaw and O'Connor. And finally the pass going to Eddinghausen. Saw the corner, dived for a very good New South Wales try, Jack Gibson.
Well, it's a pretty smart move there. They've got 2 or 3 handlings. Finally, McGaw picks it up. He's waiting for Ed to come through. He arrives in. Their full-back Belcher seems to be a little out of position on that.
So the first try in a rugby league match in the United States, the kick was unsuccessful. The score, New South Wales 4, lead Queensland 2. This game has been non-stop. 1 try scored. That by Andrew Eddinghausen for New South Wales. Here's Docking running into the big men, bounces off them, comes back at them again. You coach this fellow, Jack. He must be really tough.
Well, he's small but tough.
Here's O'Connor making a bust for New South Wales. The kick through, the chase is on. The ball is there, but Queensland have a power. It's a try. It's a try to New South Wales. Mark McGaw was there to jump on it. Well, that was a kick through for O'Connor. Queensland looked as if they had the ball covered, but they lost it over the line. A Queensland player back near halfway, flat on his back, but we'll watch this try. Here it is. Watch it with us. O'Connor stepping beautifully. He's got beautiful feet, O'Connor. The kick through. The chase was on. Jackson, number 3 for Queensland, looked to have it covered. There he's got it now. Now he's lost it. And there was McGaw to touch down for New South Wales.
Well, he certainly put in something here. He cut back in. He's got the kick in. Well, there's a bit of confusion there in the goal line, whether he got his hand to it, McGaw, or not, but it looked fair enough on television.
There is the kick, and that's fair enough too. Right between the posts, New South Wales go further in front. They lead 10 points to 2. The Lions linking up nicely with Jonathan Docking now. Docking stepping and running straight into the arms of Shearer, and Shearer got a short one in for his trouble. Touch judge Barry Gomersall from Queensland running in to report Shearer. Barry Gomersall, of course, controversial referee in Australia. He handled 2 of the State of Origin matches. Here is the incident. That's Shearer putting him down. And there is that little left hand. Only a little one. Docking's only a little fella. The penalty for New South Wales, finding touch 32 metres out. Simmons picks it up to restart. Less than a minute to go to the half-time break. Boyle takes the ball up strongly towards the Queensland quarter line. Here's Tunks inside the quarter now. Sterling, blindside move, linking up with Langmack, but Langmack's pass to Eddinghausen has gone into the dust. So a scrum will go down if they have time, as the seconds ticking away towards the half-time break. And the referee not happy with it. Siren will sound any moment. Queensland ball. There's the Hooters, not a siren, it's a hooter. And referee Stone signals half-time as this good crowd here at Veteran Stadium give the teams a rousing reception as they leave the field after 40 minutes of non-stop action here at Long Beach.
Langer, dummy half. Comes out for Belcher. Belcher, can he unload it? No, spinning around, but the Queensland players a little bunch then. On to Vorton, he'll straighten it up. Head down, trying to unload too, and he does. Little slip past there, but the ball's gone down. And no ground gained in that one, and a little injury there to Jackson as he gets up. Well, Queensland have to do something very quickly, Jack. Maybe a change in tactics to get back into the game.
Well, they've got to run the football. They've got to get it. They've got to get it over the try line. They're 10 behind, and the clock's ticking away. But I can't tell you too much about the game. The only thing I can say, we're about half an hour away from Disneyland.
A few players have been thinking about Disneyland too, with a few stars floating around the head. Some big hits as Docking, who's played very well tonight, wearing the headgear as he does in club games back in Sydney for the Cronulla side, as Tunks takes it up. He's tackled midway between the quarter and a half. And to Sterling. Cut out pass, gets it on to Langmack, comes out now to O'Connor. A bit of room to move O'Connor. Eddinghausen puts it into gear now. He's got O'Connor backing him up. The kick and chase, it's on. Lewis is there. It's gone loose. Try! O'Connor over for New South Wales after a very, very good break from Andrew Eddinghausen. Oh, nice play, New South Wales, and Eddinghausen hasn't enjoyed that one much. O'Connor, all the skills, this man. Backing up. The kick was in from Eddinghausen. See it again. Out it comes to O'Connor now. Look at the way he balances himself when he runs. He gets it onto Eddinghausen. He put it into overdrive. E.T. can see the defence coming across. A lovely little chip kick went in. O'Connor there. Lewis dived. O'Connor too quick. Lewis misses the ball. O'Connor scores.
Certainly a great shot down here, Andy, just had the necessary pace. He got free there, that winger. Chip kick in, and O'Connor was ambitious enough to follow the football.
The man who scored that try now, waiting for the conversion. There it is, about 15 metres off centre, and it's there too. So New South Wales racing away to a lead here, Maurice.
Queensland got it all to do now, haven't they? They've behind by 14 points. It's now 16 points to 2. Here's Lyons. McCaw. And beg pardons out there as Gilmister and Lewis put him down. Now it's up to almost on the halfway mark. 3 tackles gone for New South Wales. Here's Boyle. Back inside Queensland territory. It's 16 to 2. New South Wales lead. Noel Cleo from dummy half. Made about 10 metres. Last tackle signal. Penalty New South Wales. And it's against Canescu. Again, not allowing him to play the ball. And he's going to have a long-range kick at goal, Michael O'Connor. Well, I guess it's not all that far for him because it's only about 35 or 32 metres out from the line and just outside the left-hand upright. Looks good to me. Looks good to the touch judges. And it's another 2 points to New South Wales. 18 points to 2. New South Wales lead Queensland. Queensland in possession. Here's Lewis. Kick is chased by Johnston. He's got support from Docking, but he's run away from Docking. Takes the tackle just short of the quarter line. Grandstand side of the field. 18 to 2 is the score in favour of New South Wales. Now here's Sterling getting it away to Boyle. Boyle on the quarter line before he's put down. Sterling again dummy half. This time Tunks full of running. Linked up with Lyons. Got a pass away to Eddinghausen. Eddinghausen over the halfway mark. The kick in field by Eddinghausen. Chase for the ball. Eddinghausen still there. Eddinghausen has got it. No, Docking's got it. Touches down. That is a try. Another great try to New South Wales. Great work from Andrew Eddinghausen. Queensland player down, injured, has not moved. But a great try to New South Wales. Eddinghausen running strongly, kicking beautifully, almost gathered it himself, just bounced over his head, and it was Docking who was able to touch down. Watch it again, it's pretty to watch. This was Tunks running strongly. The pass from Lyons found Eddinghausen. Down the touchline he went, too much pace for the winger. Infield kick. A chase here for the ball between Belcher and Eddinghausen, just bouncing over Eddinghausen's shoulder. Jackson got a hand to it. It was still free, but then Jonathan Docking, backing up his Cronulla teammate, was there to touch down.
Well, this play was an exact curtain call of what happened earlier when Eddinghausen got the ball and cut it in. But the first to congratulate the great play was Docking. Connor was missing on this occasion.
So close to getting it himself, Eddinghausen, but Jonathan Docking rewarded for a very strong game tonight with a good try. Now, about 3 metres in from touch, O'Connor, wide from his boot, never given a chance. Score remains 22 points to 2.
On to Docking, out to Lyons. Lyons holds a lovely pass out from McGaw. McGaw stringing down. Can he get it inside the Docking? The little man gets it going. Docking, the defence comes round and they'll get him. Just a couple of metres out, Docking. Oh, what a game from this little man tonight. New South Wales still have the ball alive. It's punched back. Ball fumbling all over the place. And a chance missed there, Jack.
Well, it certainly was. He was a metre out. But they got to him. You congratulate the defence, but there's a couple of... New South Wales has come up with a penalty because when the ball went back, the Queensland people coming back onside, well, they're never onside.
This ground surface is not as even as we know in Australian grounds, and they've been having a little trouble with the kicks tonight, grounding the feet, but that's a better one. So now New South Wales really starting to take it to Queensland now, 24 points to 2.
Here's Bobby Linder breaking from the scrum. One-handing it to Lewis. Now to Miles. Miles caught on the quarter line.
Well, he shook off Hasler in the first place, but he didn't remove McGaw.
Langer. French has lost it behind him. Scramble for possession. Touched by New South Wales. 6 tackles restart for Queensland. Here comes Jackson. Jackson getting a pass away. And that is a try. Tony Curry. Tony Curry was there. It was Jackson running strongly. And that puts Queensland on the board. As far as try scoring is concerned, historic try. First Queensland try scored in the USA. Here's Jackson, held it up nicely, got it away to Curry, who just got it down before Docking could push him over the touching goal line.
Well, they hung off him here a little. He gets that ball away to the winger. Well, he only had to travel a metre long ways and a metre down.
Off the side of the boot, no chance. 24-6 remains the score. New South Wales lead Queensland from Longwick.
Canescu onto Langer, the little man. Jinks turns it back inside to Gilmister. He flicks one out the back door. Lewis grabs it on the French. Turns it back inside the Miles. Yes, and a try! Queensland hit back in the dying moments of this game. Gene Miles, he's tried his heart out tonight and he went over. And they just kept it alive then, Queensland. And that's fair reward for Lewis. He's been trying hard all night. Do it again. Here's the little man. He just had that jinking run. He got it to Gilmister. Great pass from Gilmister. It slipped outside the door. Lewis got it on. Went on to French. French turned it back inside to Miles. And Miles, bang. Thank you. Another 4 points, Queensland. Back they come again now. Colin Scott, weaving run, still inside the 22. Shearer gets to the 22, good bustling run. He's strong, Shearer, Jack. He doesn't look that strong, but he fights his way through tackles.
Well, he's strong, but he's quick. He's the quickest player on the football paddock, I think.
Gilmister, he'll play it. Comes back to Langer. Langer on to Lewis. Lewis swings it back inside to Shearer again. This time he's got a bit of room to move. Comes out to Jackson. Jackson looking for French. He gets it to French. French fighting to get the ball away, but can't. He's right on the halfway line. Langer now gets it out to Jackson. Jackson finding Scott. Scott puts on the pace. Flicks one out and intercept. No, Cliffy Lyons! Cliffy Lyons is down at home! Cliffy Lyons will go over the defensive line for it. Yes, New South Wales in through an intercept. Oh, Lyons has got plenty of pace, let me tell you. Open him up. Good running from Cliffy Lyons. He's been aggressive tonight. Well, New South Wales really starting to rub the salt into the wound now. Watch this. Here's Colin Scott. Flicks one over the top. Lyons, a little juggle. Had support too from O'Connor, but he said, no, thank you. This one's mine. Over for 4 points, Cliffy Lyons.
There's not much doubt Cliffy Lyons was thinking, hey, maybe I can pick one off here. And when he gives that overarm shot, he was there to take advantage of it. All he had to do, he had nothing in front of him but a fence.
Liam Maurice have had a lot of trouble kicking on this ground tonight because of the surface. Not quite even. Can he do it this time?
Should be able to do this one, Darryl. He's just outside the right-hand upright. And should not have a great deal of trouble with this one.
I think that toy kangaroo would kick this one.
I think you're right. Well, Michael O'Connor's done it. So it's now 30 points to 12. New South Wales lead Queensland, and just when Queensland thought they might have a chance of getting back into it, that interception from Lyons put an end to that. 4 minutes to go. We have about 4.5 minutes of play remaining in this match. This historic match coming to you from the Veterans Stadium, Long Beach, California. Eddinghausen running strongly. Now here's Boyle on his own out there. Boyle, no one outside him at all, and he's 15 metres in from touch. Simmons from dummy half. Now it's Sterling. Now Lyons. Now McGaw. Inside pass from McGaw for O'Connor. O'Connor's kick ahead. No one in front of him. O'Connor, will he get there? No, he's beaten to the ball. I think we're fine by Shearer. Shearer's got some pace. O'Connor had a good start on him. Well, I say good, he had about a metre start on him, and O'Connor had the ball to carry. Following that kick through, he must have been off balance slightly, I guess, but Shearer, coming from behind him, just got in front of him and was able to tap that ball over the dead ball line. Good chase from Shearer.
It was a great chase, but O'Connor started to steady himself so he could make it force the damn ball, but he didn't work on Shearer coming down with all that speed.
Penalty has gone to Queensland. New South Wales up inside the 5 metres in the ruck.
Well, I think he's making up a few rules for his referee, because he's certainly given him a good sweetheart, I thought, in the last 20 minutes.
5 straight penalties to Queensland. Now here's Miles with it. Out offload. Langer and Lewis. The run around with Langer. Still going Langer. Still going Langer. Good run. Caught by Davidson. 25 metres out from the New South Wales line. Lewis. The pass along the ground. Curry can't pick it up. Dowling might be in front of Curry. In fact, he was, and he's been ruled offside. So New South Wales get the penalty with just over a minute and a half of play remaining. 30 points to 12 is the score in favour of New South Wales. They've gained sweet revenge for that State of Origin loss to Queensland this year. So of the 4 games played, it's been 2-all, although the series, of course, going to Queensland. 2 games all is a pretty fair indication of these two sides. There's been nothing in them all year. Now here's New South Wales with Davidson standing and offloading to Sterling. The long pass for McGaw, showing it outside, still going down McGaw, swivelling around and getting to the corner line before he's caught and put down. Now it's with Sterling. Now Hasler. Caught by Wally Lewis on the New South Wales quarter. Cleal running from dummy half. Less than a minute to play. Sterling to Davidson. Handballed it on the lines. Now it's back with Eddinghausen, who's finally upended but lost the ball. Picked up by Fatty Borton. Borton will play it about 15 metres out from his own line. Less than 30 seconds to play. Here's Scott. Caught right on his own quarter line. Langer. Blindside to Dowling. The countdown has begun. The crowd counting down with the ground clock. Langer's kick. Picked up by Boyle. Penalty Queensland. So it's not full time yet. The siren has sounded, but the referee has awarded Queensland a penalty. Jackson will take the kick for touch. The ball is still not dead enough to be signalled full time. Here's Langer. Now Lewis, he'll try and put something on. And away goes Lindner. Away goes Lindner, running strongly, looking for support from Shearer. Found it, and Shearer's in for a well-deserved try. After the full-time siren has sounded, Queensland have gone in by Dale Shearer. And as I say, he certainly deserved that try because he's been one of Queensland's best players tonight. Watch it with us again. It was Langer, and then it was Lewis, Miles, and Lindner, who beat the defence. As the tackler got to him, he was able to offload it to Shearer, unmarked, and Shearer in for another Queensland try, which will tighten things up on the scoreboard just a little.
New South Wales were thinking about the dressing room more so what was in front of them. They just let them walk that in. As you said, it's a consolation prize, and that's all you could put it down.
That's Shearer's 8th try in State of Origin. He scored a try in all 4 games this year. Been a wonderful series for Dale Shearer. I think there wouldn't be too many who would argue that he's been man of the series, Jack.
Well, he's been the fastest. He's had a terrific... he's played great in club football. He's played great here.
Now, there you go. He's added the extras. So the final score, New South Wales 30 beating Queensland 18 in what has been an historic game of rugby league in the United States. Congratulations to all the players for putting on a good show for the Americans here. And I'm sure that everyone in Australia has enjoyed seeing these players go around once more.
Well, they seem pretty friendly enough now, Dan.
Well, the signs are up for everyone back home. Crowd giving them a well-deserved round of applause. $30 points to 18, and the two captains putting their arms up together.
Well, the Saturday match of the day had the Penrith Panthers at home against St George. Both sides been a very disappointing 1987, and all that was left for them was to regather some lost prestige.
Well, there's a penalty going to Penrith. It's against the front row. Feet across. Billy Johnston doesn't like the decision, but then hookers never like being penalised, do you?
I don't know how they ever work that out, mate.
Alexander kicking for touch. So Penrith would go right on the attack. First round results, St George defeated Penrith 20-12. In fact, St George have a very good record against the Panthers. Penrith have only won 5 of their last 21 games against St George over the last 10 years. Thompson, he's only 9 metres out. A good run from the youngster. Alexander moving into dummy half. It comes away. Now that's Van der Voort, and Van der Voort's tackle. He's only about 5 or 6 metres out from that St George line. Thompson at dummy half, switches it back to Alexander. And away it comes to Clements. The long wide pass comes to Robards. Oh, and Gordon almost took the intercept, but they've got 6 to go here as Bevan gets up and plays it. Robards from dummy half, and he's taken to the ground in good defence there by Fullerton Smith. Thompson now take it up as Gerard. Good run from Jeff Gerard. He may be 32, but by gee, he's playing like a 21-year-old. Thompson's good pass, held up well. Chris Houghton's only about 1 metre or so out as it comes away now towards Clements. Clements the kick into the in-goal area. De Jura misses, but in the end the ball crosses the dead ball line, but off De Jura's hand. And so Penrith will get the ball back because of the line dropout.
Crucial mistake by De Jura to get a hand on that one. Of course, he was trying to run it back into the field of play, but that vital touch causes the goal line dropout.
Thompson in a dummy half. Now Goodwin goes straight down the centre. And now Goodwin gets up and plays it, and Thompson, away it comes to Van der Voort again. He's doing a lot of work, Van der Voort.
Him and Thompson are playing tremendous for the Penrith pack.
Thompson, Alexander, Clements putting the kick in. It's going to be a little bit too long, although De Jura's taking his time to get across there. He's got it in the in-goal area. Bentley's up there, so too is Robards. He's away from one, he's away from another, and he's got it away to Bert Gordon. What good football from Bronco De Jura. Poor defence from Penrith. 3 of them are up there. They should have hemmed him in, but good football from De Jura. This really was good stuff.
Both sides are prepared to do something new, which is good to see.
Well, look at this. He's got away from one, away from the second. Robards couldn't do anything, and then he got a good pass away, and Gordon got it almost back to the quarter line. 18 minutes to go in the first half. Penrith with the ball on the St George quarter line. Van der Voort on his own, and Van der Voort held up 17 metres out. Dummy half as Jamie Thompson.
Oh.
Now take it up as Gerard. 12 metres out. Thompson, Alexander. It's with Clements. Clements now looking for the runner. He finds Robards, but beautifully read by Beattie. And it's going to be a penalty.
Well, that penalty was coming there. The St George backs have been offside all afternoon.
Good refereeing by Barry Barnes to hold up the play and not immediately run into the penalty until Beattie came into the play.
It's that sort of day. It is a very warm day in Sydney. And the further west you go in Sydney, out towards Penrith, seems to get those few degrees warmer, so it's not comfortable for the players out there. I think there might be another change too coming up here as Bevan comes in. There's the kick. He struck that one better. It's 2 points. And Penrith are leading St George by 2 points to 0 with 16 minutes and 40 seconds left in the first half. Tim Sheens watching play very closely as the pass comes away now towards Mackay, and Mackay's tackled about 20 metres out from the Penrith line. Fullerton Smith in a dummy half. It comes away to Lanane. Lanane hoisted high, but I think it's way too long. It's going to go out of the ground just about. That hurried kick, and Alexander and Lanane are into it in the back play. Fullerton Smith comes in and says, come on, get out of it, you two. Well, the two of them. Ooh.
You might have noticed just before that incident, a great pass by Craig Young working down the blind side. A couple of vintage passes from Craig Young earlier in the match as well, sending it out to Wilfred Williams on the far side.
And now Thompson, a good run from the little hooker. He gets the ball almost back to the halfway line. Penrith with it, 10 metres their own side of halfway. Alexander, Lanane coming in. And Alexander down on the ground, injured, taking his time to get up. And Alexander's not well at all. In fact, Greg Alexander wandering back towards the quarter line as De Jura fields that kick. And De Jura, good run, and what a beautiful tackle from Chris Houghton. A magnificent tackle. Now there's Alexander, the trainer looking, he must have something in the eye or something. So Alexander is going to the head bin, I'd say, for 10 minutes. I hope it's nothing serious. But Greg certainly didn't seem to be too happy. Immediately he was must have a scrape in the eye or something. Now Delaney's coming on as Alexander is being taken off. The Penrith club doctor and the trainer going down into the dressing room with him as Lanane tries the little chip over the top. And in the end, coming up with the ball is the replacement, Doug Delaney, who's just come on and he's lost the ball. And now there's another altercation going on. Steve Lanane's in for round 2. Well, I don't think Roy would be overly impressed with that. Kenny Boothroyd there sitting next to him. Now here's the replay of the incident. Beattie coming through. Now look at this. Everyone has a go over it. Delaney comes up with it. Delaney and Lanane go to the ground together. And there it starts. And Steve Lanane's getting 5 in the sin bin. And both of them. I thought he only sent Lanane off for a moment, but he sent them both into the sin bin. We've got 4 tackles to try and do something with it. Here the Dragons as O'Connell takes it up. And Seamus O'Connell is wrapped up. Only about 13 metres out. Johnston, open side, it comes away now towards Fraser. And Fraser's only about 6 or 7 metres out. Johnston from dummy half. Robinson on his own. Robinson's almost in. Last tackle against St George. He's only a metre out. Billy Johnston's there. Referee hasn't ruled it a try. Well, that'll be interesting to have a look on the replay. We'll have a look at this on the replay because I don't... Have a look at this. Yeah, did Johnston score or not? No risk. There's no doubts in the wide world that the try was scored. But alas for Barry Barnes, he was unsighted as Clements makes good ground for Penrith. There's no doubt, though, that Johnston forced the ball on the line.
Certainly looked like a try in a match which only has 2 points in at this stage. 4-pointers might be hard to come by today.
Well, the ball comes away now to Goodwin up to the halfway line. He's got Nissen in support, and he didn't throw the pass. He should have given it to Nissen. Nissen had almost an uninterrupted passage to the line as Houghton runs it down towards the St George quarter line. 2.5 minutes left in the first half. Penrith leading 2-0 as the pass comes away now to Bevan. Bevan on his own flicks the pass up for Tanzer, away to Van der Voort. Van der Voort looking for a hole. There's no defence across here. He can get the pass away. And he's held up just outside the quarter line. Plays it forward. Now they've got plenty of room here. Penrith, they can get the pass out wide. Listen to Bentley, and Bentley's in.
Well, there it is. 4 points should have been for St George and vice versa. Penrith have got the 4 points. Just how funny the game of rugby league is, David.
Full credit to Vandervoort here. He was the one who made the initial break, then played it forward, went again, linked up with his support to arrive just in time as he spins it out there, and finished off very neatly by Cole Bentley. Didn't make any mistakes.
Now Bevan, not an easy conversion attempt from out on the quarter line. It's swinging around, what a good kick. 2 more points to Penrith, and so Penrith are leading St George with 30 seconds left in the first half by 8 points to 0.
And Steve Linane and Doug Delaney are back on the field after 5 minutes in the sin bin. We should see Greg Alexander come back from the head bin just after half-time.
So St George bring the ball back to the centre of the halfway, and what a crucial decision. The disallowing of the Billy Johnston try could turn out to be this afternoon. Mistake made there. Nissen almost knocked it on again in the in-goal area, but he's managed to get it back into the field of play. As the siren sounds at half-time, Penrith go in leading St George by 8 points to 0. Cole Bentley scored the try, and Mark Bevan has kicked 2 goals from 3 attempts. Oh, he's got blood all over his nose. Very bad. Doesn't look good at all for Chris Houghton, who's coming from the field. It looks very nasty. I just hope it's not as nasty as that appears. Often you can see cuts and things like that look very bad. And then you find out when you see the player stitched up later that it's not quite as bad as it originally seemed.
Warren Fenton will be the replacement, just taking the field right now.
Penalty going to Penrith. Warren Fenton coming on in 23. There he is. On goes the headgear. It's almost a war of attrition, isn't it? Players coming off.
Well, they've certainly got a big injury toll, Penrith, just like we did last Monday night against St George.
So here's the reason why Penrith got that penalty. And the ball being raked away from the Penrith player, Ackery. Robards. Only 18 minutes left in the match. Batanza hit with a very solid tackle. Billy Johnson and Seamus O'Connell. Look at this. And the crowd appealing for something. We might see the touch judge come in shortly. As Warren Fenton takes it ahead. Fenton's tackle. About 16 metres out from that St George line. Delaney, the run round with Clemens. Delaney trying to duck under the tackles. He's about 20 metres out from that St George line. Vandervoort in a dummy half. The pass away to Clemens. Clemens thought about throwing the pass. I think he was hoping the St George defence would hang off him again. Thompson, blindside. Delaney, the long pass over the top. Here's a chance for Molyneux. Away it goes to Goodwin. And Goodwin, they're trying to force him across the touchline, and they're successful. And so the scrum will go down for Goodwin being pushed into touch. And here's the replay. There's a pass there from Delaney right out towards Molyneux. And Molyneux did well here. He got through the winger. He got his good pass away, but Goodwin is again dummy half this time. Thompson, away it comes Delaney. Clemens comes back now, throws the pass. It's gone loose. Coming back, Penrith clean it up through Robards, and Robards back towards the quarter line is tackled by Linane. He'll get up and play it as he does now. Molyneux from dummy half, taken by Walford, and over the top is Fraser. Now Robards and Linane into it in the back play. There's going from dummy half is Thompson. Delaney, back it goes to Thompson. A few more players getting involved in the fracas. They've managed to split it up now as the ball's into the in-goal area, and Gordon falls on it, forces the ball. Play will restart possibly with the line dropout. We'll wait and see what happens as a result of the touch judge coming in to report the transgressors in that rather light bantamweight contest we saw between Robbie Robards and Steve Linane.
Well, that's the third time Linane's got involved in a little flare-up this afternoon, and, you know, there's no need for it.
Well, here they are. Well, there it is there.
The tackle's been made, yeah.
Linane and Robards exchanging unpleasantries. And now they go on to... They're starting to get into it. And look at Paul Ackery.
I think
the heavyweight comes in and says, come on, you two, break it up. And so play will restart with the line dropout. Warren
when you look at the score, 8-0 to Penrith, you've got to go back to the first half when that try to St George was disallowed, and then immediately Penrith hit back with the only try of the match.
It's certainly been the turning point of the match as far as St George are concerned, but I suppose on the surface, though, you'd have to say that Penrith have been the better side, haven't they?
Yes, by far.
Penalty. Oh, well, now it's on again. Well, there's still a lot of fire in here. And Ackery and Lanane into it in the back play. Lanane wanted to come into Paul Ackery as well. And Fullerton Smith involved there with Thompson. And the tough judge is in again. I won't be surprised if there's a few in the sin bin after this one. Billy Johnston's also standing around talking to a few of the Penrith players. Fullerton Smith's in the sin bin.
He had no hesitation.
Fullerton Smith has been given 10 minutes.
So this is what happened. And the referee there laying down the law. There's a few others that might have been a bit lucky. And the penalty going to Penrith. Roy Masters must be a little bit despondent by this performance.
Well, they certainly haven't played the football they played last Monday night, David.
I wonder whether you flattened them last Monday night, whether they played so well last Monday night. It's been too difficult to come up.
Well, I think that's been St George's problem all year long, their inconsistency to play week in, good game, week in, week out, and that's been proven this afternoon.
There's the kick by Bevan, it's successful, so 2 more points to Penrith, and Penrith are now leading St George by 10 points to 0. 10 minutes remaining in the match. So Tim Sheens has now left his lofty position up at the back of the grandstand to move down to the sidelines. He'd be fairly pleased with this performance, one would think. Wilfred Williams has taken in good defence there. He was stalked by Van der Voort before the tackle, and Van der Voort brings up another one as he chops down Michael Beattie. Back on the St George quarter line. Young. Oh, now it's on again. As Warren Fenton let one go at Craig Young, and Billy Johnston didn't like it at all. And Billy Johnston came in and went whack.
Lucky he missed, mate. Probably there'd been a broken jaw.
He wasn't overly enthused by the original punch. Obviously, there might be someone else in the sin bin. We've already got Fullerton Smith in the sin bin. Now, here's the tackle. Now, Young being tackled there, Batanza, Ackery, and now Fenton. Now, Fenton, there's Fenton coming in with a punch, and look at Johnston.
Geez, lucky he missed.
Beattie comes in over the top. Well, this has been very hard for Barry Barnes to control. Very heated exchanges, especially in the second half, and Fenton's in the sin bin for 10 minutes. Has a few words to say to Craig Young as well. Well, Fenton's in the sin bin for the rest of the match. He can go and have an early shower, Warren Fenton. So 5.5 minutes left in the match, and Penrith now kicking it out from their own quarter line area. As Bronco de Jura collects that perfectly. The bounce was good. He still had the confidence to take it. He's up over the halfway line. The pass away to Gordon. Gordon, down the wing they go now, the St George players. And it's going to be a penalty. Down on the quarter line. As you see, it was Walford who went for the run initially, and then Gordon, as he tried to get to the ball, has been held off the ball. As though St George get another penalty and take the second kick as Young goes ahead, and Craig Young almost charges over. He gets up and plays it. Townsend. It comes away from Lanane. Lanane cuts out one as it goes to Selby. Selby holds the pass up for Williams. Williams going for the line. It goes to Walford, and Walford will score. A consolation try for St George, or are they back in business? Just under 5 minutes to go, and St George are trailing now by just 6 points. Penrith 10, St George 4.
Well, the game's not all over by any means. With still 5 minutes, the clock has just stopped. There it is, the ball across the backs from Lanane, shooting it wide. Finally, it gets out to Williams. He created that opportunity for Gordon to finish it off. But I'm starting to wonder whether or not the fights that have erupted in the last few minutes have finally started to get St George moving.
And Penrith getting the instructions as De Jura moves in from the corner line. It's a great kick, it's a beauty, right over the black dot, and 2 points to St George. So only 4 points the margin. Penrith leading St George 10-6, and we've got about 4.5 minutes left. Can St George pull it out of the fire? St George have it just outside the quarter line as it's played. Townsend Townsend goes on his own, and Townsend still going. He's 10 metres out from the quarter line. Tackle number 4, 3.5 minutes left in the match. Penrith leading by 10 points to 6. Linane throws the little chip and chase. Linane's regathered. Linane chips it ahead again. The ball's going towards the in goal area. Linane almost getting there first. In fact, Gordon is, and Gordon scored. Tried as a George, but Gordon has scored it, and it's 10-all.
Amazing stuff from St George so late in the game. As I said, it's taken them until the last 15 minutes to finally play football and get fired up the way they were last Monday night. Steve Linane did it all with a little chip over the top first of all, flying through and regathers, perfectly judged. Goes again with it when he comes to Robart. Second kick in a row, Scott Gale type of football. Almost, he was interfered with, he might have got to it himself. Finally Gordon winning the race to the ball.
Bert Gordon, former country first winger from Dubbo, as De Jura moves in. There's the kick, and he's missed it. He's missed it. So the score remains at 10-all. Well, this be the time when Penrith pull it back out of the fire. Clements, as it comes away to Bentley, and Bentley's going to be held up. 12 metres out from that St George quarter line, 10 metres in from touch. Molineux, the pass comes away. Clements, I think he thought about the field goal as he runs straight across field. He tries the little chip and chase. Clements has got it back. Clements going for the corner. The pass comes on the infield and it stacks on the middle. It's still loose, but St George forced the ball, but it's going to be a forward pass anyway. The siren goes. Full time. And in the end, St George and Penrith, 10-all. The turning point of the game, probably the disallowed try from Billy Johnston in the first half, but a result which was probably just, because Penrith certainly didn't deserve to leave their home ground without a point. And what a great fight back from St George. 10-all, and really an entertaining game of football. It was up and down the match, Benny, but there were times when the game really was outstanding.
We had some outstanding stages in the game, and I thought the last 15 minutes was probably the best for St George.
So there we are, the score 10-all for Penrith. Bentley scored the try and Bevan kicked 3 goals, while for St George, Ricky Walford and Bert Gordon scored tries, and Bronco De Jura kicked only 1 goal for the afternoon.
Every week they're at it, never daring to let up. Because winning's the only thing that counts when you're playing for the Winfield Cup. It doesn't matter if you're famous or a youngster making his way. There's only one thing that matters, and that's how well you play. That's what the big game's all about. Giving it the best you can. Always being a leader, never bowing to any man. Giving it all you know, giving it your best shot, making every step a winner, proving what it takes you got. Every week they're at it, giving it their all. But who will it be this year to collect the greatest prize of all?
Well, the Sunday match of the day was a very important one for both sides. South Sydney still trying to have some sort of ambitions about making the top 3 in the 1987 Winfield Cup. Cronulla Sutherland, a loss for them, was going to knock them out altogether.
The State Bank Big Game presents the Winfield Cup.
Hello and welcome to this Winfield Cup clash from Redfern Oval between South Sydney and Cronulla Sutherland. Well, it's a vital time of the season, only 3 more rounds remaining after this weekend's fixtures. And as we see, South's on 27 points and Cronulla also just out of the 5 on 25 points. But the Sharks have a bye next week, which will add a further 2 points to their credit. Last weekend, Cronulla were beaten by Canterbury, so they'll need a win here today to stay in touch with the race for the semis. When the teams met in round 10 at Endeavour Field, Cronulla were winners by 28 points to 18.
So today again sees old mates and business partners George Piggins and Jack Gibson in the opposing camps. South's team line-up today in this match is Cruikshank, Harrington, Marvin, Blake, Moon, Ellison, Coleman, Andrews, Chisholm, Roberts, Lindsay Johnson, Fennick and Ian Roberts. And the captain, of course, is Mario Fennick. Cronulla's full team readout is Alan Wilson at fullback, Coleman, Glenn Mortimer in the centre, David Harris with him, Freacott on the wing, Speechley and Quinn are the halves, John Canvas, the under-23 lock forward, Diamond, Gregory, Sorensen, Porter captain, Staines. The referee for our State Bank big game is Graeme Annesley. Cronulla are running from left to right. They're kicking off. South Sydney will receive the ball. They're looking into what has turned out to be a very good afternoon sun. The ball goes off high. Beautifully taken by the lock forward Andrews there. So South Sydney about 10 yards out from their goal line. Trying to work the ball away from this situation. The referee will be Mr. Graeme Annesley. He had quite a useful game refereeing the Eastern Suburbs Manly game last week, except for allowing interminable discussions with the touch judge to take up too much time. Long kick down there, playing in number 41, Alan Wilson, the fullback for the Cronulla side. He's a player that fills in for almost any position in the forwards or the backs. Cronulla in possession about 10 metres out from their quarter. Sorensen. Met hard, tackled midway between the quarter and the halfway. The settling down period, the period where the two packs of forwards are getting set into each other, will take place. It'll be a territorial battle too. Both got good kicking games. That was a kick from Speechley. Out to Ross Harrington. He had plenty of chases after it. There was no danger kicking to the open side on that occasion.
And that's what Cronulla got to continue to come up with in the first half. They've had a lot of changes to this side. They missed their state of origin men, Docking, Eddinghausen and McGaw. More than I think South Sydney will miss the likes of Boyle and Davidson. South Sydney have better depth, and the Cronulla side will be looking for a lot of enthusiasm. Michael Porter supposedly leading the side today. They'll be looking to a man with enthusiasm, a lot of running out of the dummy half area just to lead the way. They've just got to stay in this match till half-time and try and make South Sydney frustrated, although South will continue to rest on a good kicking game too there. And that man will continually come into play, Craig Coleman.
The scrum will go down about 12 metres out from the Cronulla line. Their quarter line, that is. Be fed by Ronnie Quinn, who had a pretty nasty wound to his head. Well, there's a penalty straight away, feed across against South Sydney. Mario Fennick has a few words to him. One of the principal reasons I feel that this Cronulla side perhaps won't measure up to South Sydney is in the hooking area. They've again come up with a half-baked hooker in Porter, who's only occasionally played in that position. On a Sorensen on the from the tap penalty. Gets a hard, strong work out there from Ian Roberts, who's developed into a fairly ruthless defender. Quinn. Staines standing off the ruck as if he was going to work some move there, but all he did was go straight ahead. They're 10 metres out from the line. On a Quinn. Pass out there went very strong, very hard. It was knocked on. So it'll be a South Sydney put in for this scrum. It's a little bit alarming the way Cronulla have started this game. Firing passes around. There have been several mishandles. South Sydney kicking on the first tackle. The ball will roll down into the in-goal area and will roll dead. Well, is there any breeze down there at all, David? There's none apparent up where we are.
Well, I think it was indicative from the power of that kick. There is a very strong southerly breeze that is blowing down the ground, favouring South Sydney in this first half. Interesting move by George Piggins. In reserve grade, he played the two State of Origin players, Les Davidson and David Boyle on the wing, so they could qualify to come on as vital replacements late in this match. But I think you'll agree that certainly Les Davidson looked a little bit at home on the wing, but certainly not too many wingers that have a nose like David Boyle.
Out to Staines. Staines gets it away to number 24. That's Canvas. He's an under-23 lock forward. I haven't seen him before, but Jack Gibson must have a decent sort of wrap on him to put him up this high. Porter going straight and hard. Somebody tried to strip the ball from him there. Paul Roberts rather, tried to strip the ball. Bit of messy play in the Cronulla ruck there. A reverse pass from the dummy half position, didn't go where it was intended. And another bad pass behind the intended man. They're losing ground in possession. Wilson has come into the play and given a little bit of credibility to it by getting it downfield to Cruikshank. Gets it away to Jason Moon, running around the other side, palms off one player. And there's a net gain of about 1.5 yards in that lot. Cruikshank well and truly upended there with a fine tackle from Speechley. He might have damaged his right knee there. Well, he's got up very lame, but we'll come back to that. He's limping back into position. Chisholm goes strongly through the ruck there for 4 or 5 metres. Ellison gets an elbow there. There might be something in that. We'll watch and see when the touch judge comes in. The kick has gone downfield. There's quite a definite elbow or forearm went into that player on that occasion. Cronulla in possession now, just their own side of halfway, out to Speechley. Onto Harris, who was a very fine up-and-coming footballer a season and a half ago, and then he had some bad injuries, making a reappearance after a long time in reserve grade. Out there to Harris again, got a pass away beautifully to Quinn. Quinn's going strong, gets a pass back at the inside to number 2 there, Glenn Coleman. There's the kick across field, and it's, well, it hit accidentally on the knee, Lindsay Johnson, and he was able to fall down on it. Ellison trying to go through the middle there. They were a bit thin out there, Cronulla. Here's Mario Fennick on the boil, moving like a train, the crowd rising to him. Out to Lindsay Johnson. Back inside to Andrews. Bad pass there, went to Fennick, but I think they're contesting possession. And Mario wins the referee's vote of approval on that occasion from Speechley. See that again.
So the referee had already called Mario Fennick there as he dived on it originally, probably to play the ball. That's why the penalty going against Michael Speechley. I think we've already seen two of the danger men in this South Sydney lineup in just the last minute or so of football. Ian Roberts and Mario Fennick are the two forwards that can take the tackle and unload the pass. Ian Roberts only a week ago was probably the best forward against Canterbury Bankstown. They'll both get a little bit wide of the ruck, looking for support runners like Wayne Chisholm, Michael Andrews and Paul Roberts.
Coleman on to Roberts now. He's going well, gets a pass away nicely there. Gone to Chisholm. Chisholm goes forward about 7 metres. Now the South Sydney fans are rising to the Rabbitohs. On to David Cruikshank, the fullback, who's chimed in. Got a late pass away to Paul Taylor. It's gone out there to Speechley. South Sydney player knocked it backwards. And Cronulla are back in possession. On to Porter, who looked as though he'd overrun that dummy half pass. Looked marginally forward. Wilson to Freacott. Wilson again, the fullback, playing in the dummy half role, playing virtually anywhere when Cronulla have the football. Oh, there's a strong surge from Canvas. He's obviously a player that's got Jack Gibson's confidence. There's a pass out there nicely to Diamond. Diamond split him He's going towards the line, gets a pass away out there on the wing, goes back inside to number 5, Freacott, can't handle it. And the chance goes begging. That pass was very high to Freacott. He had to reach for it.
Very skinny defence out wide by South Sydney, and a good ball back inside would have had Cronulla with the numbers. Freako could have drawn the fullback Cruikshank and given Ronnie Quinn a bit of a clear run to the line.
They won't get a better opportunity to score a try than that. There was a very good break by Diamond, straight through the middle, went cleanly, got an ordinary pass away to his wing three-quarter out there. He did well to catch that, pulled it in from behind him one-handed, then the pass back inside again to Freacott was very ordinary, very high. Nonetheless, chances come, chances go. And here are South Sydney now with Maven getting the ball away to Jason Moon. He's picked off there by Coleman. Ellison tries to get beyond that advantage line. Coleman, Chisholm. Well, they drive him backwards after him busting the first tackle. Coleman kicking downfield. It did hit somebody in the meantime. Andrews fields it, or attempted to field it, but up with it came Alan Wilson. He did a very good job. Plays it forward, goes through 3 defenders, 4, he's still going. It's a great run. He's travelled about 25 metres in that run. Porter at dummy half, out to Speechley. Then on to Harris, Harris to Diamond. Diamond made an absolute meal of that. An awful bit of handling. Just unbelievable that a player could do so badly.
South Sydney, a very poor start in defence for them. They've got to put their minds onto the job. They might have the mental attitude problem in that so many changes in this Cronulla side. They really are expecting to win this game and win it well. They can't afford to leave Cronulla in the game at half-time. Penalties here starting to favour South Sydney, but they've got to get their minds back on the job. The forwards are the ones who've got to lead the way. Otherwise, this Cronulla side might just get a sniff, as I say, by that half-time break and turn around with the breeze.
The penalty's gone to South Sydney. They've had a halfback come round a bit too quick. Mr. Annerley pinged him. Yes, we'll have a look at those lower grade results. One of them was a walkover. The under-23s was fairly close, 18-10. South Sydney, reserve grade, 31-4. And as David has told you, both Boyle and Davidson played on the wing during the last half of that to qualify as replacements in first grade. Here is South Sydney now moving the ball out well. It's gone to Michael Blake. By chance that if it had been that, it had been Phil Blake, who played in the reserve grade with the extraordinary acceleration, scored 2 tries. That could have been a try. Speechley weaves around, goes back into the corner. Coleman, Lindsay Johnson, unseated there with a very good tackle from Speechley once again. Ellison gets a high towering kick. It's taken by Alan Wilson beautifully, leaping high above. Yes, indeed, that was a great one. Coleman comes away with a pretty mobile sprint there. Freacott running crossfield. Now he straightens. Made about 4 metres. Speechley. Not many out there. On to Dane Sorensen. The old reliable. The good performer over a number of years has gone forward the few metres. Back to Wilson, kicks downfield. Cruikshank. Got a bit of pace, this lad, but he runs into the defence then instead of linking with the supports. Coleman, Harrington. Diamond ran at him there, but he took him straight on. Coleman, long cut-out pass out to Andrews, away there to Taylor. Taylor's gone round one man, gone round 2. He's got to Speechley. Speechley puts him down. No doubt about that one. A great tackle from Speechley, right round the boots, knocked him sideways. Coleman. On to Chisholm. Harrington, Coleman, Speechley. Back inside to Lindsay Johnson there, who got to ground before he could get the pass away. Last tackle. Coleman kicks into the end goal. They're racing back for it. Freacott's there. Oh, he's made a meal of it. Oh, he took desperate amount of time to get that away. The gate was open.
Great little chip by Craig Coleman, the man that's really playing with some sort of urgency in this South Sydney side. The ball was left to be rolling around by Dennis Frico. Just at the last moment there decides that the shadows of Craig Coleman were getting too close.
It'll be a line drop out to restart. Still no score in the match. We've had 13 minutes of play. Well, Alan Wilson tried to get that further, but ballooned up and all the distance went off it. Stands in a tackle, gets it back on the inside. They're going desperately close now, only a metre or so out. Coleman away to Speechley. That pass was knocked down, and it's been fallen on by a Cronulla player. Honestly, I don't think a Cronulla player had anything to do with the ball going in that direction. I think it came off the South Sydney man. Anyway, the referee got a bait from the South Sydney supporters, but they come up with possession. Well, we're surprised to see or hear that Cronulla are getting a replacement ready early, so Dane Sorensen looks like he's going to leave. Who's coming on, David?
Well, Dane Sorensen obviously going to the headbin. He took a very heavy knock, and it appears that the player coming on is Craig Tracy. He'll go to the hooking role, and no doubt Michael Porter will go from hooker to prop.
Speechley. South Sydney defence has been stretched on several occasions. Dan Staines goes for a gallop from dummy half, gets to within 5 metres of the halfway line. Speechley kicks. That'll find touch. Midway between the quarter and the halfway South Sydney side.
So again, the kicking game most important in this first half from both the half and 5/8 combinations from both sides. And it's got that feeling that South Sydney really are treating this Cronulla side lightly. They're going to get themselves into trouble if they don't put their mind well and truly on the job. They're very slow to regroup after that last kick from Cronulla.
Out to Ellison from the scrum win to South Sydney. On to Ian Roberts. He went through a tackle there that looked a bit suspect, striking for the ball. Well, no need to tell you that Souths have just got a penalty. The roar from the crowd tells you that. The player lifting his foot prematurely. Ellison has opted for the touchline rather than the goal. It would have been a fairly long kick for him. Although you reckon the breeze is there, David, to have assisted him?
Certainly, it is a very, very strong breeze. I'd rate it probably somewhere between 6 and 10 points to South Sydney. They've got 20 minutes to start putting some points on the board in this first half, because they could have some problems if they don't before half-time.
Well, South Sydney have got 4 straight penalties. That's a help to them. Chisholm comes hopping through there. Switching the play to the blind side. Lovely pass out to Fennick. Fennick could go close. Jason Moon goes in and scores the try off a Fennick pass after a little bit of convoluted work was worked in the middle of the field there. Some good play. See it again.
On the State Bank replay, the first real piece of variety in the game from South Sydney in the first half. Lovely quick pass from Craig Coleman to Ellison. Mario Fennick getting 2 passes out wide, standing and unloading, and a great ball on the wing there to Jason Moon. They've been struggling somewhat, lacking a little bit of enthusiasm in this first half, as if this game was certainly just going to happen for them without putting the work in. But they put the work in on this move. They just set themselves 2 plays to the middle of the field and they switched down the blind, and they had the numbers out wide on Cronulla.
Well, now Speechley's going to attempt the goal from a metre. I'm sorry, Ellison from a metre inside the quarter and about a foot in from the sideline. Well, he's left that astray a little bit to the right, so the score remains South Sydney 4, Cronulla 0. And Wilson again at dummy half to Quinn. Out to Dan Staines, who takes the tackle. Speechley trying to ease his way through the ruck there. Long cutout pass out to Harris. Sorensen, they're working the play back to the quarter. One-handed pass away to, I believe that's Freacott. And up they go. There's a high bomb gone up. It's not gained any ground at all. It's actually come backwards with a bounce. Harris had the ball, lost possession. Coleman's come up with it. Fenwick's got it away to Roberts, and Roberts has got it out to Jason Moon, and nobody's going to catch him. He's going to run 75 yards and score a try. Coleman's there. Coleman's tackled him a yard. No, not a yard, only half a metre short. It's an astonishing chase. Maven runs from dummy half. He's weaved and gone right back the way he came. My God, that Coleman showed some speed there. Astonishing chasing. And there's a knockdown in play. We'll see that again. It was well worth the viewing.
Absolutely magnificent chase by Glenn Coleman. Jason Moon had what appeared to be a clear try line in front of him. Cronulla were being caught after that midfield bomb. Glenn Coleman, terrific pace and a fabulous tackle. He was very tempted to reach out, maybe with a double movement, but a magnificent tackle.
Scrum to go down just inside the Cronulla half. Andrews is going to score a try from a switch of play. A switch of play between he and the half-back has brought instant results for South Sydney. Classy move. See it again.
And on the State Bank replay again, Craig Diamond, the man out of that scrum very quickly, but he fell for the dummy, just following the ball straight across the field. That left the gap between the blindside play and the scrum well and truly open. He was just out too quick and going too far across the paddock as the ball was switched back into Michael Andrews. Nobody at home. John Canvas, the lock forward, had gone the open side.
Ellison strikes the ball well. That's the score then. South Sydney 10, Cronulla Sutherland 0. Speechley, long cut-out pass to Canvas. He's a strong big lad. He looks best when he's going as hard as he can go straight. And that's a penalty to him against Mario Fenwick. Failure to get away from the tackle player.
Only 30 seconds left on the clock here. They should be searching for as much distance as possible here. All that'll be left to them was probably just a one tackle in play. There'll probably be a midfield bomb situation set up for Cronulla straight away.
Well, it was a pretty ordinary kick. It's come off the side of his foot. Only about 7 metres gained. Well, come back to the mark, son. That's the... They've squandered the time. They've only got the time for the bomb. If Cruikshank takes this, if he takes it, he does take it beautifully for South Sydney. Gets a round of applause. Totally fearless. So the scoreline at the halfway stage is South Sydney 10, Cronulla 0. Tries to Moon and Andrews. 1 goal from 2 attempts to Ellison. Cronulla, nothing to report. Cronulla, who now have the breeze at their back, will be attempting to get back on terms. They have no points on the board at this stage. There's one change, David. You've got it.
Mark Ross is on in jersey number 15, replacing the left winger Jason Moon. Apparently Jason injured a leg in that first half. When I was inquiring, though, as to the extent of the injury, Johnny Gibbs, the former international who now runs the touchline for 2UE, turned around and said reason is not quick enough, obviously referring to Glenn Coleman's great chase. But I'm sure, Rex, the comment was made tongue-in-cheek.
Well, I would hope so, because he couldn't do much more. The player carrying the football has got always a little bit of difficulty. We're seeing Cronulla come away with a good run now and get back to the halfway line. Glenn Mortimer was the player that finished with the ball. Now a penalty's gone to Cronulla.
That's against Wayne Chisholm, the man coming back on side. He interfered with Michael Speechley, who was going and calling for the ball, and well picked up by Graham Annesley. And Cronulla the chance to hit back straight away. This is the danger for South Sydney. To really make sure of this game, they have to be the next scorers. They can get themselves into some trouble here, because just prior to the break, Dan Staines and also Craig Diamond were causing plenty of problems on both the blind and 2 passes out on the open side.
The tap restart. They're working their Cronulla Sutherland move, building the wall. No net gain from it. Diamond's the man that finishes with it. He gets up swinging punches at Lindsay Johnson. Quinn is tackled on the quarter line. Staines running forward. He's made about 5 metres gain into the South Sydney quarter. Sorensen, very strong run, but driven to the ground by weight of numbers. about 10 metres in from the sideline. Canvas. I think he had a head clash there. Mario Fennick and he have come together fairly strongly. If we see that again, we'll probably deduce that it's a little bit like a couple of bulls going together. There it was, right there. That indicates just the power and strength of these two fellas. I'm surprised that he's got to his... Well, he's up on his backside now, being treated by the trainer. Roberts, Coleman. Onto Chisholm, who surges forward a few more metres. Coleman. Ellison, into the clear goes Michael O'Connor, gets the pass out to Maven. Maven's up the sideline, looking for support, gets it back inside to Cruikshank, and Cruikshank puts it down.
Another great opportunity lost by South Sydney as the ball comes back inside here from Steve Maven. Cruikshank only had to take the ball. He had Ross Harrington with him. He only had to draw the last defensive line of Cronulla, and they're away again for South Sydney, continually missing those opportunities.
Quinn, Speechley, C from fullback. He's been around the world, this fella. The referee has indicated there was no close there. There's some strong chasing coming from Harris. Oh, gee whiz, that took a lot out of Roberts to get back there, and it was a good run from the big prop forward to chase so well and beat the coming Ross Harris, David Harris to the ball, but was all or nothing. Similar to a week or so ago, we saw the Manly prop come away with a very good sprint to pull off a tackle on the same Cronulla halfback, Ross Harris. Canvas running sideways there, not going to get himself into any first-grade football teams to last if he does that. Diamond, straight, trying to buck with the hips. Gets up and plays it forward. He's entitled to do that with no marker there. The big comeback from Cronulla, is it? Out to Porter. Porter nearly loses the ball, gets it away to Freacott. Freacott's going strongly. Tackled well by Mario Fennick. Well, there's a kick across field. Oh, it's going to bounce. Who's got it? Well, the referee has ruled that it was knocked dead over the dead ball line. And that was a very near thing for South Sydney.
Mike Gregory just not being able to control the ball there. Touched and knocked down by David Cruikshank towards the line. And Graeme Hughes ruled confidently that South Sydney weren't the ones that played at the ball.
Lindsay Johnson charging away, close to the ruck. Cruikshank's going to be treated with a trainer, is he? No, there's a Cronulla player down at the moment. Andrews. Chisholm gets a pass away one-handed. It rolled off his hand. Cruikshank stands, steps, weaves. They're going around in ever-diminishing circles there for a few moments. Lindsay Johnson has not passed the football once today. Threatened to on 4 or 5 occasions in the first half. Coleman reversing it back into the forwards. Well, that's not a bad ploy. They've done this before. Roberts gets a pass away and tackled. About 10 metres out from the line was Andrews. Fennick throws the dummy, goes back on the inside. He's going to score, is he? Yes, he is. Fairly close to the line. He took the ball, threw the dummy out on the right, decided to go on his own, stuck his head down and burrowed and made the distance. Good stuff from Mario Fennick.
And good lead-up work on the State Bank replay was done by Ian Roberts, who took the play well and truly downfield. Michael Blake then saw that they had the chance out on the right-hand side of the field. Mario threw the dummy, and the entire Cronulla line of defence went across with the dummy, left a big gap back up on the inside, and he certainly got mobile and enough steam after the crash over. Souths had been struggling. They hadn't been getting deep enough. Mario was deep enough on this occasion. They've just been standing too flat and just going through the motions of their play. This occasion, head down, and he certainly charged at the line. One of South Sydney's better performers in the first half, along with Ian Roberts. They were both in the action in the thick of it against Canterbury Bankstown and taking the ball up the middle of the field. And today they're certainly heading South Sydney in the right direction in this second half.
The kick is eminently successful, so the score races on. South Sydney 16, Cronulla Sutherland 0. Cambers kicks off for Cronulla. That's K-A-M-B-A-S. There's a knock on. Pretty ordinary stuff from Marvin. Well, that'll give Cronulla a bit of an opportunity now. The territory's been gained for them with the error. They're going to have possession there unless the scrum goes against the feed. But they'll get the penalty instead. Screwing and collapsing the scrum. Diamond hastened over. He wanted to do it quickly. The referee had to slow him down. There were too many players on the ground initially. South Sydney players have to go back to their line or just outside the line. Quinn. Canvas. Tracy. 6 to go, says the referee, waves his arm. Sorensen. Quinn. Speechley. Back inside to Harris. Going nicely. Got a pass away. It's gone to Maven. Maven's dropped it. And Cronulla have knocked on in trying to pick it up. Although I didn't believe there was a knock on from Cronulla there. Perhaps the video will show.
Here's the pass that goes back across by David Harris. And the knock on by Maven coming off the knee. Bit of a tough decision against Cronulla. Didn't appear to be the knock on.
Another penalty gone from the same scrum. There, South Sydney are collapsing these scrums. Speechley. Glenn Mortimer trying to get through there. Couldn't do it. Didn't have the pace. Harris is at dummy half. Goes from there. He's showing a lot of enthusiasm and pace when in the clear. Glenn Mortimer. Quinn. Craig Tracy. Quinn. Well, he's there, is he? I think it's Michael Porter who's gone over to score.
Well, a neat little switch on the State Bank replay by Ronnie Quinn, but there was plenty of South Sydney defence here. Just standing, Michael Porter showing his own sort of strength to get across that line, but Ian Roberts, Mario Fennick, Craig Coleman, they're all there on the line, unable to hold him. They were looking for the ball to go back across to the open. The little switch might have put them off balance, but there they are. He just braced himself for the tackle. A bit of a specialist, only about a yard or a metre or so from the try line, Michael Porter.
Now, I noticed Maven's off, David.
Yes, Luke Beasley's the man that's come on to replacement. It's a common trend for George Piggins in recent weeks. Earlier in the season, Steve Maven was really the flavour of the month, but he has replaced him in the second half in the last few matches for South Sydney.
Well, I noted that Beasley had a very good game in the reserve grade and set up a try for the replacement winger Mark Ross.
Well, he had an outstanding game. So did Phil Blake, and that 31 points to 4 victory. It was a tremendous performance by the Rabbitohs reserve grade side.
Glenn Mortimer on a Diamond. Diamond gets out to the quarter line and has dropped the football. According to Mr. Annesley, wasn't assisted, so we'll see a scrum go down here with a South Sydney feed.
And once more, Craig Tracy has come back off the field. Dan Staines, after his stint in this head bin, back in the front row.
Harrington, Coleman, oh, he's gone for the long cutout. It's gone backwards and picked up by Cronulla. That was a terrible pass from Coleman. Away to Gregory, the Englishman, who's gaining some experience with this Cronulla side. Sorensen tackled about 7 metres into the South Sydney half. Speechley to Harris. Harris down on his knees there, trying to go forward. Speechley, Quinn. Canvas swung to the ground. That should be taken by Cruikshank. Oh, he's knocked it on, I believe. Yes, he has. Again, South Sydney giving the opportunity to Cronulla. Maven knocked on not so long ago before he was replaced, and now Cruikshank.
And South Sydney have struggled right throughout the day to put this Cronulla Sutherland side away. The Sharks, probably the end of the semi-final run for them if they lose today. This scrum going down right in front of the goalpost, opening up great parts of play on both sides of the ruck.
Out to Quinn. On a Speechley, back on the inside. Beautifully to Glenmore, to C, Jimmy C, and he's in for a try. C came in from the fullback job. I think there was a call came there very smartly, and he changed direction. See it again.
And on the State Bank replay, that's the way it panned out. Plenty of open spaces either side of the scrum base, and Jimmy C finding enough room to move in there. Just broke out of the last-ditch tackle. David Boyle arriving too late on the scene. Switch of play from Michael Speechley, and when Jimmy C comes back inside, he just palmed off Wayne Chisholm and just dived over. South Sydney have been struggling to put the Sharks away, and they certainly have a match on their hands right now.
10 metres in from the sideline, 2 metres short of the quarter line, kicks and gets it. So South Sydney on a precarious road here. They've allowed the Cronulla side to graft their way back to 16-10. Well, Cronulla were dead, but they won't lie down. Speechley on a C. He's busted one tackle. You've got some information there, David.
Yes, David Cruikshank's been struggling with that bad ankle right through the match so far. We're just watching Gabe back at his in goal at the moment. George Piggins was toying with a replacement, then he realised that he's already used up his 4 now. It's interesting to know whether Cronulla have sensed that the South Sydney fullback is struggling on that injured ankle.
Well, they're certainly doing a lot of kicking to him, so that would indicate that they have. That kick from Freecott, the one that he was after, the chase on that occasion was just a little bit too far, went over the dead ball line. That's a restart with about 5 minutes to go. Well, Les Dyson spilled it on a Porter. Porter comes back strong. It's belted to the ground. Davidson very angry at the thought of dropping the football in that critical situation. Staines on the surge up to the quarter. Sorensen. Quinn. Back inside to Gregory. Sorensen. Back to Canvas. Back to Sorensen. Beautifully out to C. C's got it away to Coleman. Coleman's going very straight and pretty quick to within 5 metres of the South Sydney line. Quinn. Speechley. Sorensen. Sorensen. 5 metres away. The last tackle coming up. Little kick in the in-goal area, taken by Coleman. Coleman makes it. Well, he actually dived from the in-goal outwards into the field of play to go underneath the tackle. Harrington gets out to a couple of metres beyond the 10-metre line. Beasley. We'll keep a note of the time. About 3 minutes to go. Speechley half got tackled there, but he got a kick away. It's gone to C, who's bleeding fairly profusely from a cut over the right eye. He's tackled on the halfway line. Freecott. Quinn. Harris. Back to Speechley. On to Porter. Porter going up the sideline, going beautifully, tackled well by Mario Fennick, right around the boot tops. Gregory, Speechley, Quinn, Harris. They're playing really active football now out to Coleman. The ball being tossed around like a hot potato. Up to Harris, dummies to pass, slipped. Still a couple of tackles to go. Canvas slips and falls with the last tackle coming up right now. There's a high bomb for Cruikshank. Takes it beautifully and he's in goal, so that's defused that one.
And the kick just going far too deep there. David Cruikshank just taking it and pausing for a fraction. It was enough for Graeme Hughes to say that he took the fair catch. Play restart on the quarter line. Great performance by Cronulla in this second half. Their enthusiasm has been enormous. South Sydney a little bit off their game. They've had opportunities and squandered them in the first half. And Cronulla just lacking that little bit out wide to finish off some of their movements in the second half. And that's the like of Andrew Eddinghausen and Mark McGaw. Jonathan Docking, one just wonders how Cronulla might have finished on in this second half.
With time running out now for Cronulla, South Sydney are in possession. Davidson makes a break, got a one-handed pass away, which went to ground. It's still in South Sydney's possession. Ross has fallen on it. Coleman kicks it over the sideline. They'll get the scrum feed from the ensuing scrum.
Good tactics by Coleman. He realised that the time was really running out now, and he just knows that South Sydney have to control the ball. Sharks searching for a real miracle.
About 1.5 minutes to go in this dramatic game. South Sydney leading 16 points to 10. Johnson, the first pass he's got away today. Coleman runs from dummy half. Gets to the halfway line. Fennick. Boyle. It's a shuddering sort of a stop he came to then, Mario Fennick. Diamond running into you, I don't blame him. Fennick milking the moment, getting every last second he can out of the referee on that occasion. Quinn. Beautiful tackle by Coleman, puts him down 12 metres out from his line. Now, Cronulla have got to just throw caution to the wind. They've got to keep the ball alive, play, in Jack Gibson's own words, catch-up football. The Hooter will beat them. Quinn, the little kick over the top, taken beautifully by Roberts, given to Davidson. Davidson gives it back inside to Boyle. Luke Beasley running from dummy half and makes a good inroad too. Coleman, Johnson. Fennick away to Davidson. Davidson very strong, stretched the defence, couldn't release his arms. Michael O'Connor, Coleman. Had a move there with... Yes, well, it's all over now. 16 points to 10, South Sydney lead at the conclusion of this event with Cronulla. The scorers in the match were Moon, Andrews and Fennick for the South Sydney side. Cronulla came back with 2 tries to Porter and C in the second half. Ellison kicked a couple of goals for South Sydney. Canvas got the 1.
Every week they're at it, never daring to let up. Because winning's the only thing that counts when you're playing for the Winfield Cup. It doesn't matter if you're famous or a youngster making his way. There's only one thing that matters, and that's how well you play. That's what the big game's all about. Giving it the best you can. Always being a leader, never bowing to any man. Giving it your best shot, making every step a win.
Well, there were some important games played too also last Sunday, a very close one, Manly and Canberra, as we go to all the highlights from those games played last Sunday.
Today there was enormous interest in the clash at Brookvale. Both Manly and Canberra were out to avenge their losses in last weekend's round of matches. For Canberra, victory was crucial for their top 5 prospects. Both teams were affected by the loss of key players from the LA State of Origin clash, and the Raiders came out blazing. Sam Bacco scores in the first minute of play. More trouble for the below-strength Sea Eagles as the Raiders went further ahead at the 20-minute mark. Manly fans disputed the try, which may have had a touch of a shepherd, but Canberra fans rejoiced at the 10-2 lead with Kevin Walters' 4-pointer. But their cheers turned to dismay a few minutes later when skipper Dean Lance received his marching orders from referee Bill Harrigan for an alleged head-high tackle. He also received a crisp left jab from Chris Close for his troubles. But a bigger blow for the Raiders was when new skipper Mal Cochrane scored Manly's first try. Then the fleet-footed Paul Shaw, relishing his chance of a full game in the top grade, opened up the Canberra defence for prop forward Kevin Ward to grab the try to give Manly a 16-10 lead at half-time. 2 goals by a stand-in kicker Matthew Corkery, and this try by Ashley Gilbert, though, gave the Raiders a lead once again, and it seemed they would end the game still in the top 5. But Manly had other ideas. In a true test of their strength today, they came back to snatch a great victory. It was a thrilling 20 points to 18 win, but stand-in skipper Mal Cochrane of Manly heaped praise on the Raiders after the match.
They come out firing. We got off to another slow start, but I must say to our guys' credit, we come back and stuck to the guns, and I'm pretty proud of the guys.
Paul Shaw, have a fine game at halfback.
Mate, he's improving with age. He's just like a bottle of wine. He's had another big one today. He's going to be a player of the future, I think.
From the dressing rooms at Brookvale to the Parramatta Stadium, where today the Eels took on the Steelers. It may be too late for the Premiers in '87, but you have to admire their spirit. Down and out today, they were still chasing their 4th win on the trot, and this try by Brett Scott helped them along the way. The Eels scored 3 tries to 2, although this Steelers try by Alan McIndoe was probably the best of the match, but it wasn't enough to stop the Eels' winning streak. Parramatta up by 3 by 17 points to 14. And finally out west today, the Magpies took a stranglehold on that dreaded wooden spoon. Their opponents were North Sydney. And the Magpies paid the penalty for allowing the Bears to stage yet another comeback. 3 tries, including this one by Jason Williams, had given West an 18-10 lead. However, the Bears clawed their way back. Each side scored 3 tries, but the combined goal-kicking skills of Jeff Clark and John Dorahy in the end proved the difference. A difference of only 2 points.
Well, Monday night football returned to the Belmore Sports Ground this week. Canterbury Bankstown at home to Eastern Suburbs. And the one thing really going through the game was the fact that the winner was probably going to find themselves in the top 3 in the semi-finals at the end of the season.
Tonight in Monday Night Football, we welcome you to Belmore Sports Ground, where Canterbury Bankstown take on Eastern Suburbs. It was the boot of East's young centre, David Smith, that proved the difference in round 10 at Henson Park, when East got the money by 16 points to 14. And now, 13 weeks later, only 3 points separate them on the Winfield Cup table. After South's win yesterday, they moved 1 point ahead of Canterbury, but Canberra's loss to Manly keep them equal with the Bulldogs. OK? Let's check tonight's teams. Firstly, Graeme Hughes with a Canterbury rundown.
Thanks, Rex. Well, from fullback, Canterbury, Michael Hagan in 1. In fullback, Steve O'Brien in 2. Andrew Farrer, Peter Mortimer. The centres, Colin Whitfield on the wing. The halves of Terry Lamb and Steve Mortimer. The forwards, Paul Langmack, Chris Mortimer, David Gillespie, Peter Kelly, Steve Folkes and Paul Dunn in 24, replacing Peter Tunks.
Well, thank you, Graeme. Yes, speed to burn in this Eastern Suburbs side, and it will be in evidence tonight here at Belmore. The team from fullback is Gary Worth, Steve Morris, David Smith, Tony Melrose, Joe Lydon, Brendan Hall, Laurie Spina, The forwards of David Cronulla at lock forward. Trevor Patterson comes into the second row wearing number 22. Hugh McGahn at captain. Tony Rampling, Robert Simpkins and Danny Shepherd. And of course the side is coached by Arthur Beats, and a man that no doubt impressed on the Eastern Suburbs side the importance of defence in the final 15 minutes tonight, a problem against Manly last week. Well, joining us sidelines tonight is the Eastern Suburbs reserve grade coach and a man that no doubt has been involved in trying to rectify that Eastern Suburbs defence this week. Russell, is that one of the main things, the important things in their training session?
Certainly was. Arthur was a bit miffed, to say the least, that we allowed Manly to score 3 second-half tries. That's one of the areas he's worked in. He's had Bunny Riley again there this week, and Bunny's worked overtime. You can rest assured they won't score any late tries.
In that regard, the omission of Trevor Gilmeister tonight after the State of Origin duties, is that a thing that East may rue at the end of the game?
Well, I hope not. Trevor's a fine player, but sometimes it's a little hard to get back up after playing such a big game. It's been a very exciting week for the boys over in LA, and to come back and perhaps get back up for another big one might be just a bit too tough. We're very confident Trevor Patterson will play exceptionally well and look for a big game from Trevor.
Well, Canterbury side to fear, they're on the roll at the moment.
Certainly is. You can never underestimate a Canterbury side. Some super footballers. We'll be very wary of Terry Lamb. He's the man we think we've got to stop, but anyone on their side can do it tonight.
OK, we're looking forward to your comments on the sideline.
Pleasure.
OK, Russell Fairfax joining us tonight on Monday Football from the Belmore Sports Ground. We'll take a break and be back with all the action of the first half in just a moment.
And away they go. Terry Lamb kicked a bit of dirt there, but he got the ball off all right. It's gone to Patterson. Patterson comes out to the quarter. Now Simpkins is going to take over the dummy half roll. On to Rampling. Rampling hurls himself at the opposition. He played a little bit of a knock on there too, just a little tiny one. Well, he's not very happy about that. He's got up and pushed one of the Canterbury players out of the way. Mortimer. Kelly, the switch back to Mortimer. On to Terry Lamb. Farah. Peter Mortimer goes through one tackle, gets through a second. Copped a bit of a one across the head then, I thought. Steve Mortimer scurrying through, and there's a player being tackled on suspicion. Chris Mortimer getting there and throwing a blow. And I think Tony Rampling's the player. No, it may not be Tony Rampling, but there was a blow thrown in anger there.
Trevor Patterson coming in on speculation to tackle Chris Mortimer. We thought he was going to receive the ball from his brother Steve. So plenty of niggling. This is a very important clash, and both sets of forwards out to get on top of each other to show who's boss.
Well, Mortimer has just pointed a finger at one of the Canterbury players, Patterson. The referee laying down the law. He's been told, or they've been told, that it'll be the sin bin for them if they keep it up. The penalty goes to Canterbury Bankstown. Terry Lamb about 4 metres out from the quarter. He's only about 15 metres off centre. The kick well within his range. He shortens his run down as he comes in, takes longer steps. Strikes the ball. It's there, as well as was, because it didn't go dead on the full, but there it is, Canterbury 2, Eastern Suburbs 0. Paul Dunn coming from the tap penalty, and he's upended. Tony Rampling's the player that's going to be called out here. I think this is a bit of stupid football there. He's left his side 10 minutes short. I think it was to do with the spear tackle, upending him and standing him on his head. Tony Rampling off for 10 minutes. A penalty goes to Canterbury Bankstown, and that is just rank stupidity. Well, he's only 4 metres in from the sideline. He's about 6 metres out from the quarter. He'll be kicking across the breeze. I look at the northern end of the ground again and see one of the flags standing out proud. It must be just in a little alleyway there for the wind to get through. Here's Whitfield. Driven it beautifully, a great goal from the sideline by Colin Whitfield. So Canterbury 4, Eastern Suburbs 0. Simpkins runs him. He's found a gap right through the middle and gone within a metre. A little bit of slack defence there from Canterbury. They opened up. Spina kicks through. The race for the ball. O'Brien gets to it in goal. The ball will be slippery. That was a good save.
Good tactics from both sides in this opening minutes to the first half. The kicking game from both teams have been spot on.
Melrose, dummies, gets a high bomb in at the moment. There's a fair bit of pressure coming to Hagan, but he defuses that beautifully. It's out to the quarter.
This mightn't be the end of play. We have a touch judge coming in. Eastern Suburbs were calling for a penalty for interference to Tony Melrose, who was following his own kick through onto the in-goal area. So I didn't quite catch the Canterbury player. Chris Mortimer, again, the man just putting a bit of a shoulder into Tony Melrose there, and the touch judge picking it up.
Yes, well, while we're waiting, we'll give you the lower grade scores. The under-23s went to Canterbury Bankstown 22-16. Reserve grade to Canterbury 10-6. That was a try in the last, well, desperate few seconds of the game, giving them the win. The penalty has gone to Eastern Suburbs. And as there's a train going past at the moment, it could be run over. We shall see. Well, it's gone up the back there, over the back, so it's a scoreline now that reads Canterbury 4, Eastern Suburbs 2. There he goes, right up the middle. Oi, Terry Lamb's gone over the halfway line, very nearly through the gap. Steve Mortimer on the fly now, turns it away back to his brother, Peter, who's decked very, very hard. There's some very hard tackling going in out there at the moment, let me tell you. There's another penalty, and pushing the player in the play the ball. And plenty of problems for Canterbury. Peter Kelly leaving the field. David Fordham, a replacement.
Yes, Peter Kelly leaving at the northern end of the ground, limping very, very heavily. And we've got Mark Bugden coming on in jersey number 25, which probably will mean a reshuffle of that Canterbury pack.
Yes, well, Kelly's off. The penalty will be taken. It's going to be taken by Whitfield.
And that means that David Gillespie, the man that will probably move to the front row position now, with Steve Folkes dropping back into the second row and Mark Bugden into the hooking position.
The information we have from the sideline is that Kelly has got a badly corked thigh muscle. Very painful. Colin Whitfield. Well, he's just made it. It was a beautiful kick, very straight, but only just went over. So the score now, Canterbury 6, Eastern Suburbs 2. Brennan Hall. Chuella gets into gear very, very smartly. Morris, Rampling. They're about 13 metres out from the line now. Morris. Pass to Melrose had him locked up before he could make a move. Well taken by Spina. Brendan Hall hasn't quite got the pace to go round his man. Got a good strong fend. It's the last tackle coming up now. Simpkins, Spina, the little grubber kick down there has changed direction. This will be a try. David Smith has come up with it. The ball was intended to go out to the right towards the corner post. It hit a Canterbury Bankstown player, deflected back, and Smith's come up with what was a very soft try. See it again.
It's all unfortunate for Michael Hagan, the Canterbury fullback. He had perfectly positioned himself on the right-hand side. It took a deflection. David Smith was chasing the ball through, and that's a great bonus for Eastern Suburbs. Both sides keeping a lot of pressure on each other. Eastern Suburbs, especially the last 10 minutes or so on the Canterbury quarter. Michael Hagan trying to change the direction there in the back play, but that ricochet off the Canterbury man bringing him undone. But Eastern Suburbs have steadily been mounting pressure. Canterbury come out with a lot of mistakes near their own quarter line. It's their own fault that try is now on the board.
Well, David Smith, scorer of all the Eastern Suburbs points at this stage. There are only 6 to talk about, but he's hoping to get this kick. 5 metres in from the quarter, about 20 metres off centre. And with about 10 minutes now, 10 and a half minutes to half time, he moves in and gets the goal. So the score now reads Canterbury Bankstown 6, Eastern Suburbs 8. Farah. Steve Mortimer. His kick's not effective. Worth grabs it. Has beaten one tackle. Put down about 5 metres out from the halfway line. Melrose trying to straighten it up. The referee rules that that ball went backwards, picked up by Gary Worth. Spina, Chuella, Brendan Hall, McGahn, out to Steve Morris. He's left Steve O'Brien behind. He's got pace. He's travelling well. He'll go inside probably. Yes, he will. He's scored a brilliant try. Steve Morris has used all his guile, all his pace to outdistance the Canterbury defenders. Went around them and then curled back on the inside of the fullback. You'll see that again and you'll marvel at the pace and the expertise of this young man. See it again.
I was mentioning those long balls in the back line, how they have to catch Canterbury out wide. Well, Steve O'Brien was the man that was caught in no man's land by a great long pass from Huey McGahn. It might be slippery out there, but he certainly led Steve O'Brien high and dry. Stevie Morris was only cantering at this stage. He knew he had too much pace for the forwards coming across in cover defence. He saw that Michael Hagan couldn't stop on the wet ground. Plenty of room back on the inside. A great display by the right winger to go over there right underneath the post. And this is just the tonic that East have been searching for prior to the break.
Well, a splendid try, really the sort of a try that, regardless of the team that scores it, it's the sort of a try that would bring rugby league fans to their feet anywhere in the world. Brilliant stuff, and I applaud the pass from McGahn, which was absolutely spot on. Only a couple of minutes to go. That try gives them a 12 points to 6 lead now, with David Smith to attempt the conversion from directly in front. Smith. Again, he's kicked it right out of the ground. So the scoreline now reads Eastern Suburbs 14, Canterbury 6. Just gets inside that quarter. Steve Mortimer, Terry Lamb. Oh, there's a cutout pass there, gone beautifully. It's out there to O'Brien. O'Brien's decked by the cover, only about 10 metres out from the line. Eastern Suburbs were very much up offside there in the backs. They went well before. They went away well before the referee. And now we've got an incident here with Terry Lamb. You'll see it on the replay and here in the description.
Well, it certainly was high, getting across the head from Tony Rampling. Decision being left with Greg McCallum. He's decided not to send off or send to the sin bin, but the reason that Terry Lamb has been forced back in is because of the fact that Hugh McGahn is standing very wide in defence and forcing the Canterbury danger man back inside into the rucks, back into all the forwards and back in for treatment just like that.
Colin Whitfield lines up for a very important kick and gets it. So the score now is Canterbury Bankstown 8, Eastern Suburbs 14. Brendan Hall, McGahn, Melrose right through the gap, looks beautifully, going nicely, gets around his man. He's going to be put over the sideline, standing in a tackle, swivelling around there, trying to find a support, and he just ran out of places to go. See it again.
Sloppy defence from Canterbury. It was a short blindside play. Tackles were missed, arms just hanging out and going high and falling for the dummies. Nothing was on. Melrose didn't have too many options and they just hung off.
Well, Eastern Suburbs have come up with a scrum win. Gary Worth's on the surge. He very nearly got through. Laurie Spina away to Brendan Hall. Hall's gone to try to beat the tackle of Terry Lamb. Couldn't do it. Patterson. Again, some strong defence there. Again, it's Terry Lamb. McGahn to Simpkins. Back to McGahn. On a Rampling. Rampling's there. He's underneath the post. It's a magnificent try. Well worked out. And the man with the architect behind it was Hugh McGahn. Beautiful bit of football from him. Got the ball and quickly let it go. See it again.
Great short play from Eastern Suburbs. Their forwards just supporting each other and unloading. Tony Rampling, the man that charges on, and that's the place to score them. Doesn't matter whether you're a winger or a front rower, right under that black dot. Good play from Simpkins. He drew the Canterbury defence. Huey McGahn backed up after setting him off on that short little gallop, and Tony Rampling found the space. Stevie Mortimer too late on the scene. So there he is. Huey McGahn started it and kept himself alive by staying back in play and calling for it. And again, he drew the Canterbury defence perfectly. And there's that half gap for Tony Rampling to crash right through.
I was just alarmed by the way that Rampling held the ball above his head there as he takes the ball from the gun. Look at the ball up above his head virtually. That could have been knocked anywhere. Anyway, he scored the try and he's going to get the accolade for it. Dave Smith's going to attempt the conversion. And this will continue should he kick it. The great goal kicking. So Dave Smith, as the crowd's noise will tell you, gets the conversion points, and Eastern Suburbs surge away. East 20, Canterbury 8. Well, he's offside, Simpkins. He's going to playing on at the moment. It's Langback. Langback gets it away to Lamb and Lamb's in for the try. Good refereeing from McCullum. Very good refereeing. He could have penalised Simpkins there, but he let the play go on, and a try was scored. That's what you call smart refereeing.
An excellent play by Canterbury too. Terry Lamb has been harassed all night. They've been up on quickly on the outside to force him back in. This time they kept their options open. Lamb himself was the one to back up, and good play from Paul Langmack. He threw the dummy on the outside. The Eastern Suburbs defence was slow to regroup back up on the inside. The hole had been left by Simpkins, who rushed up in the play there. It wasn't filled back on the inside. Just Laurie Spina there to take the drawing pass from Paul Langmack, and Terry Lamb, as always, back there on the inside to complete the move. They were rushing up on the outside, Eastern Suburbs, and they just left this big hole back up on the middle, and Paul Langmack certainly did it all perfectly there for Canterbury in the game once again, well and truly alive.
Lamb. There's the conversion attempt, so that score makes it now 20 points to 14 in Eastern Suburbs' favour. Yes, Melrose has kicked about 8 times in general play. I'd suggest that 7 of those have been spot on. And there's a change for Eastern Suburbs coming up. Can you gentlemen inform us who they are?
Yes, Trevor Patterson's the man going off, and young Craig Salvatore is the man that's coming on. He packs straight into the second row. A player of great promise.
Here they go now with Winfield coming around the side there. He got into space, but Lydon was able to chase and catch him okay. Now Farrah's gone up the blind side, kicks ahead. It's a chase for the ball. Terry Lamb will get to it. Terry Lamb scored. It's an incredibly good try. Andrew Farrah took the odds to it. Lydon was out of position. Attempted to go around on the inside and tackle. The Canterbury crowd have gone mad. Lamb's come up with another try. Andrew Farrah's responsible, but see it again.
He read the play quickly. He saw there was a gap down the blind side. Andrew Farrah put the chip in. He was going to win the race to the ball himself, but the ball bounced towards Terry Lamb. Well, he's always there for Canterbury Bankstown. Great reading of football by Farrah, though. Joe Lydon caught out badly. He's the winger. He went to the marker position. He should have realised that he had to keep watch down that blind side. He left the gap there for Farrah, and he took advantage of it. And now we certainly have a game tightening right up here. There was nobody down that sideline. Lydon knew it. He was shaking his head after he saw the head start he gave to Andrew Farrah. That's all they needed. And they were both vying for each other for that chance, and Terry Lamb got a great bounce. All he has to do now, the conversion coming up to tie the score up.
20 points to 18. Eastern Suburbs lead. Canterbury Bankstown. He's made no bones about it. He's kicked the goal, so the scores are locked. 20 all here at Belmore Oval.
Tony Melrose has certainly snuck himself in behind the play of the ball for Eastern Suburbs. He's waiting deep there, calling for maybe one more play. He's setting himself for this one-pointer. And the knock-on in the dummy half position, but he's got Canterbury for not marking directly in front. Crucial penalty.
That seems to me to be a curious penalty to give at this stage. Well, it was against Peter Mortimer. It'll be a hell of a way to lose such a contest as this.
And here he is here. He's got him for not standing directly in front in the play of the ball.
Here he goes. He kicks the goal. So the score now remains, or is, 22, Eastern Suburbs, 20, Canterbury. And there's the hooter. And they've won the game. It's been an exciting game too. A marvellous game. The goal kicking has been spot on right throughout. There hasn't been a goal missed. And the scoreline goes this way. Eastern Suburbs 22, Canterbury 20.
Another action-packed week of Winfield Cup football. Let's take a look at next week's games for you right now. Eastern, Suburbs and Souths all important, as is the Canberra-Canterbury clash, Illawarra and Manly. Norths up against Parramatta, St George and Weths, Balmain versus Penrith, and Cronulla. Still maybe an outside hope of making it to the final 5 with the bye. Well, I trust again you've enjoyed all the action on Winfield's week of Rugby League. I'm Graeme Hughes saying goodbye for now.